You've probably seen this classic image in Buddhist art, Amitabha Buddha, with two incredible bodhisattvas standing beside him. On one side, you have Guanyin, the embodiment of compassion. On the other, Mahasthamaprapta, the embodiment of wisdom. They're known as the Western Three Saints. But for a lot of people, this beautiful image brings up a really common question. When you look at them, I mean really look at them, can you tell who is who? It's a totally fair question. Honestly, with their serene faces and flowing robes, they often look almost identical. It's a super common point of confusion, even for people who've been around this for a while. So if you've ever found yourself squinting at a statue trying to figure it out, you are definitely not alone. But the good news is there is one single dead giveaway that solves the mystery every single time. And you know what? It's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. Okay, so we're going to start with the most direct way to tell them apart. Forget everything else for a second. The secret, the whole key, is right in the fancy crowns they wear. I promise, once you see this, you will never be able to unsee it. So let's break this down. Generally, Guanyin is on the left, that's the place of honor, representing compassion. Mahasthamaprapta is on the right, representing wisdom. Now, they might be holding different things, a willow branch or a lotus flower, but the 100% foolproof way to tell them apart is to look at the crown. Guanyin has a tiny little Buddha in his crown. Mahasthamaprapta has a treasure vase. That's it. That's the secret right there. Let's zoom in on Guanyin for a second. See that little seated Buddha right in the middle of his crown? That's actually his teacher, Amitabha. It's a symbol that even as this incredibly powerful bodhisattva, Guanyin never ever forgets his master. It's this beautiful, constant act of devotion, and that's the source of his infinite compassion for everyone. And now for Mahasthamaprapta. On his crown, you'll spot that unique treasure vase. And according to the scriptures, this is way more than just a piece of jewelry. It's said to be filled with the pure light of wisdom. Think of that light as his main tool. It shines out into the world, cuts through ignorance, and helps people's minds become clearer. So, okay. We know how to tell them apart in a lineup now, but their differences are so much deeper than just what they wear on their heads. They really represent two totally essential and equally important parts of the journey to enlightenment. Here's a great way to think about it. Guanyin is like the hand of compassion. When someone is suffering right now, if they're in danger or in pain, he's the one who reaches out and provides that immediate emotional rescue. Mahasthamaprapta, on the other hand, is the light of wisdom. He provides the clear, rational guidance you need to understand why you're suffering in the first place, and gives you the power to get rid of that ignorance for good. The texts use this perfect metaphor to describe them. It says they are like the two wings of a bird. Just think about that. A bird can't fly with only one wing, right? It's impossible. In the exact same way, you can't reach enlightenment with just one of these qualities. You need the warmth of compassion to care, and you need the clarity of wisdom to know how to act. It's this perfect, beautiful balance. Now, let's be real. Guanyin is one of the most famous figures in Buddhism, period. Everybody knows Guanyin. Mahasthamaprapta is often seen as, well, the other guy, the quieter partner. But thinking of him that way is a huge underestimation of his power. So let's take a closer look at this absolute powerhouse of wisdom. I mean, just his name in Sanskrit, Mahasthamaprapta, literally means he who has attained great power. The scriptures say that when he just takes a single step, the entire universe, all the way down to the realms of demons, gently shakes. But this isn't some kind of violent earthquake. It's the immense, unstoppable force of pure truth and wisdom, a power so great that it shatters the very foundations of delusion and ignorance just by its presence. And his backstory is just epic. In a past life, he was a prince, Nimo, the second son of a king. His older brother, that was the future Guanyin. In some traditions, his more intense, wrathful form is known as Vajrapani, who is the very symbol of power. And his journey is far from over. He's actually destined to be the next Buddha of the Pure Land, right after Guanyin's time is complete. So he didn't just have all this power, he taught a method to get there. In the famous Shurangama Sutra, he gives his core practice, and it's this: gather the six senses, continue pure mindfulness. What does that mean? It basically means stop letting the outside world pull you in a million directions. Pull your attention back from everything you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and even think, and focus it all on one single unshakable point of mindfulness. Okay, so let's bring this ancient figure right into our world today. For a lot of people, especially in East Asia, Mahasthamaprapta isn't just some historical figure in a book. He has a very real, very specific connection to everyday life. In popular East Asian culture, he's known as the guardian deity for everyone born in the year of the horse. And that's such a fascinating connection, isn't it? Of all the animals, why the horse? What's the link between this bodhisattva of wisdom and a horse? Well, the logic behind it is actually pretty brilliant. The Chinese character shi in his name means power, force, momentum, all things that perfectly describe a horse's speed and energy. But think about it. A horse has incredible momentum, but without a rider to guide it, that energy can be reckless and wild. Mahasthamaprapta's light of wisdom acts as that rider, that guiding force, turning raw, blind energy into focused, powerful achievement. So we've seen how to spot the difference, we've explored their deep symbolic roles, and we've shed some light on the incredible power of Mahasthamaprapta. And it all brings us right back to that core idea, this essential, unbreakable partnership between wisdom and compassion. And it leads to a question we can really ask ourselves in our own lives. When you're facing a tough time, what do you need more? Do you need a compassionate hand to just pull you out of the mess? Or do you need a bright light of wisdom to show you how to avoid the mess in the first place? The truth is, it's never just one or the other. We need both. I think ultimately it boils down to this. Compassion is the hand that reaches in and pulls you out of the fire. It saves you from the immediate pain. But wisdom is the light that shows you where the fire came from so you never fall into it again. One saves you in the moment, the other saves you for a lifetime. Thanks for diving into this with me.